Hello again, boys and girls. This is our handwriting page for today. And we have been working on doing our handwriting for our capital D and lowercase d. To begin with, you need to put your name right up here because I need to know whose nice, neat handwriting this is. Now, let's look at how we make our D. We make our uppercase D in 2 steps, and this is one of our frog jump letters. So watch. We start at the ceiling, and we do a big line to the floor. Then we frog jump. See how I picked my marker up? Rip it, and we jump back up to the top. Then we do a big curve from the ceiling down around to the floor, and we touch that line. Watch again. Start at the ceiling, do a big line down to the floor, rip it. We'll jump it up to the top, and we do a big curve from the top of the line down and touch the bottom of the line. Watch again. Start at the ceiling, do a big line to the floor, rip it. There that frog jumps. And we do a big curve from the top of the line around, and we touch the bottom of the line. Go ahead and trace your uppercase D's for me. Remember, we want to do a nice, neat job while we're tracing, because that helps us to make our letters better. And remember, we always begin at the top and work down on our letters. We never begin at the bottom. And that is our uppercase D's. If you need to pause the video so that you can finish these and then click on it again when we get ready to do this line, you can do that. Okay, now look at this line. We don't have our uppercase D's to trace anymore. So we still have the dot. We start at the dot. We do a big line from the ceiling to the floor, rip it, jump up, and do a big curve from the top of the line to the bottom. Start at the dot, do a big line from the ceiling to the floor, rip it, frog jump, and do a big curve from the top to the bottom. And I want you to do your uppercase D's for me. Notice how I am going nice and slow because we need to get our handwriting correct nice and slow, and then with lots of practice we can speed up. But if we try to go fast at the beginning, we'll never get it really neat. What is this a picture of right here? It is a dog, and this is the word. What does D make? D makes D. O makes R, and we haven't talked about G yet, but it makes G. D. Og. Dog. This is the word dog. Go ahead and trace the word dog, and make sure that you are starting at the top of the letters and working their way down. Now watch me make this G, because we haven't talked about it yet. The G is like a magic C. Up, bump, down, and go. It has a tail on it. Okay, go ahead and finish this side of the paper because we are going to flip it over and do the other side. This is the lowercase side D, or the lowercase D side, and I need you to write your name up here because we can never have too much practice writing our name. Now, our lowercase d is a couple of different steps, But we do not pick our pencil up when we're doing this. We begin just like we do our magic C, right below the dotted line doorknob, and we make a magic C. We keep going up like a helicopter on up to the ceiling, bump, and back down to the floor. So we begin right below the dotted line. We make a magic C, up like a helicopter, bump, and back down to the floor. Magic C, up like a helicopter, on up, bump, and down to the floor. I would like you to go ahead and do your lowercase d's. Now, I want you to be making them just like I do. I do not want you to be making that tall line first, because that is not the way to get the D exactly like we like to see it. Sometimes if we make that tall line first, it's a little awkward for us to get into the curve of the D. So that's why we make it that way. It's one nice smooth motion. If you need to pause the video to finish your lowercase d's tracing them, you may. Here we start at the dot, we do a magic C, up like a helicopter, bump, down, bump. Start at the dot. Notice how D comes on this side of the dot, but that's okay, that's what it's supposed to do. So it's a magic C, up like a helicopter, on up, bump, down, bump. A magic C, up like a helicopter, bump, down, bump. Magic C, up like a helicopter, bump, down, bump. What is this a picture of? This is a doll. D makes D, O makes R, and L makes L. And since there's two L's, we only say the L once. We don't say doll. Okay, it's doll. So let's trace the word doll. There's that lowercase d coming into play. Here's the O that we did last week, Ollie the octopus. There's an L, which is just a big line down, and another L that is just a big line down. Thank you for doing this page with me today, boys and girls. Have a great day.